driving down to Maryland to go pick up the bus. Very excited. I'm Darsha.
And I'm the captain.
I'm a planner.
And I'm a schemer.
And together, we're Plans and Schemes. And we're happy to report the bus has come home. So excited. So.
How did we get it here? And where did it come from?
All right.
We have a lot of Cotton Eye Joe related questions here.
It's true. P.S. We're both musicians, so there's going to be a lot of musical references. And if there's enough interest, you'll hear us sing. All right, so how did we find the bus? I went and looked up all of the auctions. Government auctions, public auctions, and I signed up for a bunch of different sites. And when I signed up, there was nothing local enough. But I kept looking because the internet said to keep looking. And check back because new auctions get posted all the time. And within a few days, an auction was posted about 2 states away, but the drive was about 3.5 hours to the south. And that seemed reasonable. But the bus that was on auction was really, really close to exactly what we wanted. It had the right engine, it was the right model year, it was about the right size. So I got really excited, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and then I realized I had thought about it too much, and I might as well just put it in a bed. So I did. And then all of the stomach churning things, because it was another 7 days till this thing closed. So you have to watch it and check back, and you don't want to bid too much. Back and forth. So, the day before the auction ended, kept watching. The price was still in a reasonable zone. Kept me excited. But there were a few people going back and forth on it. So, the day of, it ended at about 9 p.m., I put in my flat out end all max bid. And I stayed the top bidder, and we watched, and we counted down, and we won it.
And while she did all of that work, I brought her snacks.
Pretty much.
That's how I helped.
It's such a help. I like snacks. Anyway, so, end price, just under $1,800. The bus is a 2001 Bluebird. It is a classic Bluebird with a cowl chassis, otherwise known as a dog nose, as opposed to a flat nose. It is 11 windows. It's 35 feet long total, bumper to bumper, and there's 27 feet between the back of the driver's seat and the back wall. 27 feet of living space. It has a T444E engine and an Allison AT545 transmission. The engine, great. The transmission is one of those ones that gets a little dicey, but we're going to watch it. It tends to overheat a little. Known issue. We're going to deal with that.
But once it's converted and we're able to just boondock with it, we can limit our driving real easily, which means it won't wear and tear as hard.
That's true.
Which will be nice. Instead of, we got to get there, we got 200 miles today. No, 50 miles, let's pull over, rest for the night, give the bus a break, and it won't inconvenience us or anybody else.
It's true. Also, perhaps not choosing to climb the steepest pitches will also help. We don't want to take this through the Rockies on purpose at a hard clip.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, I had 6 pictures and a description, and I emailed back and forth with the person that was the contact person at this school district with a few questions, and they were answered very quickly, and he was very good to work with. But I didn't really, you don't really know until you see it, and you feel it, and you look at it, and talk to the mechanic. We got to talk to the mechanic who had maintained it. And it turns out this bus hasn't even had students on it for the last 4 years. It's been used as a training bus to train new drivers on how to drive a school bus. And it was the bus they used to send the new drivers to go take their test on.
This has several benefits. First and foremost, say to fly. First and foremost, children are filthy. Since they haven't been on the bus, there is not a whole lot of filth in there. Secondly, being that it's a training bus, it has been kept in immaculate mechanical shape.
It has.
Everything is just gorgeous on this thing. What are some of the other benefits that we found with this?
Okay, so I knew from the pictures it had some storage underneath. On the passenger side, there's one storage bay just behind the doors, the front doors to get in, the folding doors. And on the driver's side, there are 2 bays, but when we opened them up, we realized that it's one big bay behind it, connected. So it's a very long space underneath. It's like a good 4 to 6 to maybe more feet. I didn't measure it. But there's a whole lot of things we can put in there, which is amazing because storage is such a big deal.
Yeah.
In tiny spaces. But that's for like outdoor camping equipment or tools or, extra stuff. Fantastic. Also, the tires on this thing. Okay. There weren't pictures of the tires in this auction.
So sexy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Okay. So, there are 2 steering tires in the front and 4 driving tires in the back. All 6 tires have so much lovely, lovely tread on them. They look barely used. Which is amazing because these tires, and they're name brand good tires, not the it'll do tires. Not going to drop those names, but links can maybe be in the description. But these things like retail between $600 and $800 a piece, times 6 tires. So the worth of the tires is more than I paid for the bus, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's at least another 3 years of like hard driving on these things.
Oh yeah.
Before having to replace them. So like the wisdom is you put $100 a month away into a tire fund so that in 3 years you have all of the monies and it didn't hurt that much and you can replace them all, which is awesome. But this thing is in really great shape, and we're very, very excited because of all of this. It's mechanically sound, it looks great, it functions great, we've got extra storage, tires are amazing, so many good things. The only real bellyache was the anxiety about getting it home safely.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nerve-wracking. First and foremost, we had a few challenges just because of how the world is right now. In the middle of the pandemic, it's hard to get, paperwork and stuff like that. The DMV is closed. There were some significant challenges from the start that we had to work around.
And schools aren't in session.
Yeah.
So, there aren't buses on the roads. So a big yellow school bus looks really conspicuous.
Yeah, especially when it's got a pirate on board.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we put "not in service" signs, handwritten, on the front and back windows. No, we're not transporting children, we're not an official business, we're not in service. please just keep moving and I'm fine. Okay, so imagining positive outcomes, thinking only good thoughts. We set off and the bus did everything we asked it to do, drove great. The only trepidation we had is coming on the way to get the bus. We noticed that on the way back, coming towards us, there was a way station that was open.
For those of you that don't know, way stations are required for certain vehicles. They make sure to check all of your paperwork, then everything has to be legally sound for you to be on the road in this thing. Now, due to some of the challenges that I had stated previously, this would have been a fatal place for us. So it was important that we avoided that. Now, luckily, we had some insider information from a very reliable source that knows that area. So we were able to get home without the trouble of a way station in our way.
Right, we took an alternate route home. And on that alternate route home, we had to go over a somewhat long bridge. And we kind of felt the crosswind, and that this thing's a big old billboard, and with wind over bridge, it can wobble a little bit. And that was an eye-opener, because you don't think about it until you're in it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's huge. So, noted, and we will make allowances for that in the future. But we got home without incident, and we thank our lucky stars. And we do not recommend traveling on the roads without all of the paperwork in order. We cannot recommend this.
Yeah, make sure you have your paperwork.
But it did work for us, and we're very grateful.
We'd also like to thank the incredible follow driver, who will remain nameless, who got several hours of B-roll of the bus driving down the street for us.
Yes.
And was on the ready to distract any officers that would try to pull over our big yellow school bus.
That's true. That's true.
So thank you, nameless hired driver.
Indeed. We're grateful. We're still planning. We're still scheming. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. We're here! Very exciting. This is it.